All right, we're going to start this test. This is our last lab for the semester. This is where we're going to do our deflection on our 2x12s. We're going to use our dimensional lumber, 2x12s by 5 foot long. We're going to do I-joist, which will be the 11 7/8 with the 2 1/4 inch rim on them. And then for good measure, we'll do 2 of each of those, 2 of the 2x12 dimensional lumber, and then 2 of the I-joists. You're going to take your data, you're going to average the values for those, and then we're going to do 1 of the LVL or the micro lamp, okay? Just for good measure. You won't use that to answer the question. You'll only use the dimensional lumber and the I-joists. Okay? The LVL, just to show you how strong they are. We're not going to use that data for any of the questions or any of the calculations in the lab itself. All right, so I have a 2x12 loaded here. I did add right here, I did add a little bracket on there so that we can measure deflection, so that we can measure how much deflection we get as we put the load on there. I'll talk a little bit more as we get started. So I'm going to come back here and I'm going to actually adjust the head down, not up. Make sure none of my cables are in the road. We're going to bring this down until it's almost touching, not quite touching. We don't really want it to be touching. Then I'm going to lock the clamp. What that does is lock the clamps right here. I don't know if that's showing up in the video. On these bars right here, it locks the head in place. And then now our center cylinder, the cylinder right above here with our load cylinder, that's going to put our load on here. We have 48 inches between the 2 outside centers, 16 inches between the 2 centers here, which gives us a 32-inch span, or 16 inches for A, 1/2 the span length. Okay, so you're going to use 16 inches for A when we actually do the calculations. All right, so we're going to go ahead and zero the deflection out. We got our close to zero. This other display is displaying on the concrete tester there. I have it hooked to this cable right here, runs over to our concrete tester, and that's going to give us the load cell on this particular device. Okay? So now I'm going to come over here and I'm going to hit start load. I'm going to start it. We should hear it kind of ramp up a little bit in a second as it starts to put a load on. And then we should see the load start to change. We should see the deflection start to change right there. And what you're going to do on the deflection, you're going to go like every 1,000 pounds when you watch the video, and you're going to write down what the deflection was at 1,000, what that deflection was at 2,000, at 3,000, and so forth. Again, if you wanted to do it every 2,000 or every 1,000, that's fine too. We just kind of want to get an idea, compare the two from one to the other. Okay? This one here is going to be pretty low. I'm actually going to move this out of the way as it continues to crack. Normally we leave that deflection on there till about 10,000 pounds, but this one here is a pretty weak one because of that knot or that imperfection right there. So right now it's forming right here at this knot. We want to go a little further. Typically, in most cases, we'll see that most of the damage will occur up here in compression first, but final failure won't occur until the tension is broke on the bottom. little more, just to get one more flap out of it. Alright, there it broke. So now I'm going to hit return to 0. And you see we got just the slightest amount of rebound, but not enough to really consider that to be rebound. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and raise, so I'm going to unlock the clamp. I'm going to raise this up out of the way. Hopefully none of our cables are where they're going to get pinched. Sure. And I'm going to go ahead and take the bracket off here. Try not to knock the cameras in there out of the way. Or lose the screw. Okay. So, take this one out. I'm going to grab another one. I'm going to try to grab a little bit better one. Alright, so we have a little better piece of lumber here. It doesn't have quite as many knots in it. We're going to put those knots on the top side this time. We should get a lot higher number for this particular piece of lumber. Again, dimensional lumber varies drastically. Okay, that's the biggest problem with dimensional lumber. Unless you're there sorting it yourself, you never know what you're going to get. Okay, a huge variation in quality of lumber. Alright, let me just check the cameras. I think I bumped this one a little bit. Put it back where I want it. Just going to reset our other one. Again, that last one that had a peak of 5,403. And next, we'll go ahead and start another test here. Okay, so now we've got our deflection set. Now we'll run our head back down. Okay, lock the clamp. And reset our deflection. Kind of rotate that towards the camera since I moved the camera. Make it a little easier to read. And we're going to go ahead and hit start. Okay. I would expect that this one will probably roll over 10,000. Maybe up to 12 or 14,000. We'll see. It's just a much clearer piece of lumber. I know there's a little bit of error on the meter over there. That negative 247, not going to make a lot of difference when we're getting up into the 10,000s. Again, make sure that when you watch the video, you kind of stop it and look at that deflection for every 2,000 or so and write down that number so that we can compare the deflection of the different samples. When we did get over 10,000, I'm going to go ahead and move this out of the way. Just if it snaps and breaks again, I don't want it damaging that instrument. In the past, our dimensional lumber anywhere from about 5,000 to about 18,000. Okay? Typical pieces are somewhere around 12 or 14. Okay? If they're good, clear lumber. fired. 16,000 so far. Again, on this one, you notice that we got a lot of damage right underneath one of the clamps on the compression, but we're not going to see failure until the tension along the bottom actually fails. All right? So this one I would say is actually pretty exceptional so far. See, we've got a little more compression going on at the top. Significant compression there. Hard to really see that with that camera. We're waiting for the tension to break on the bottom. Actually move this camera around as we're doing this because I kind of want to show you what we've got. So we can see here where we've got significant compression going on. Down here, we've got significant compression going on. Over here, we've got pretty good compression going on. And right down there, okay? So we've had a lot of compression on it. The rule is don't move the camera because it's a pain to adjust. Alright, so let's see. We're still moving, but we're starting. It's hard for you guys to see it, but this top piece is starting to twist. Alright? If it twists too much, then I gotta stop the test because it will tend to mess up my fixture. Alright? So we'll let it go a little bit longer, see what happens. As long as it doesn't continue to rotate around. Machine here, we got a lower limit on stroke that showed up. So that's as far as it's going to go. So what we're going to do is we're going to stop and return it to 0. So what we did was we lowered our head down a little further, and we're going to try it again. On this old equipment we have here, it only allows me to use 50% of the stroke. The amplifier for the 100% gets an error and tells it that it's at full stroke. So we're going to compensate that. We compensate it by simply lowering the head. We're going to run it back up to see if we can get it to break. It's kind of like watching grass grow or paint dry. Failure there. So we're going to reduce the load now. $18,840. First time we got 19,000. So we lose the 19,000. All right. I'll load this sample. We're going to do our eye joists. Sometimes these are a pain to get out of here when I let them go that far. Get crushed. All right, so we're going to use an eye joist. These are our eye joists. We can see that our particular eye joists are using a micro lam for the top and bottom rail on them. Kind of do an in view, hopefully, in the camera here. Kind of see an in view of it. That micro lam has this piece of OSB embedded partway in each side there for the rib. Okay? So OSB for our web and micro lams for our two rails. Advantage of the micro lam gives us a wider nailing surface. It's about 2 1/4 inches. Where typically a 2x12 is only going to be about 1.5 inches wide. This is 2 1/4. Gives us a little bit more to nail to. Okay, a little bit nice and thick here, something to nail to. All right, so we're going to add our fixture to get our deflection. Okay, before I do that, you can see that my eye joist is flopping around on here. So what we're going to do is we're going to add these plates in here, and we add these plates to the fixture, but we make sure they're short so that they don't interfere with the strength. All they're going to do is hold it parallel or perpendicular to the fixture. Add these to both sides just to try to keep it from twisting so we get a pretty good test. Okay, going to bring the head down. Pop the clamp. Move our stuff out of the way here. Reset our deflection. Well, I guess I need to put it under there first. Put our deflection under there. Reset it. Okay. Check our camera to see. That's not too bad. And we got our 261. So I'm going to see if I can carry that. So we're going to give that test. Stop. Stop. Okay. Go over here. We're going to clear this. Right. And we're going to go do that. Right. So we got that 261 there out of there. At least for now. Alright, so. Alright, got everything set up. So we're going to come over here. We're going to hit start. And hopefully we'll see the deflection start to change. And we're going to see the pound load change. Again, you want to report the deflection. So every 2,000 or every 1,000, the 2,000 would have a deflection of about 0.017. Okay? And just keep track of that so you can fill in your chart with your lab. So we do it every 2,000, 4,000, 6,000, 8,000, 10,000 on the deflection. So we can kind of get an idea of how much load it holds for deflection. At about 10,000, I'm going to move this out of the way. So now we don't have to worry about deflection. We're just going to worry about load. Now, typically our TGIs won't hold as much load as a quick piece of lumber. But they're going to hold more load than our typical knotted pieces or really crappy pieces of dimensional lumber. So they're usually much more consistent. So pretty much failed now. We're going to go ahead and release the load. We're going to have it return to 0 and then watch the rebound. You can see it rebounded quite a bit compared to our dimensional lumber. Again, our micro lambs, and we'll see that especially on the LVLs, where we get a lot of rebound when we release the load. Okay? All right, so that was our first micro lamb. Let me go over here and get our peak. So 13,762. That's the peak we're going to use for that one. And of course our tear scale, when we go from test to test, doesn't stay with us. Raise this up. We're going to take our plate off for our deflection. We're going to slide these plates out of the road. Off for me. So pretty much broke. If you can see that in the camera right there, pretty much broke right through there. Again, we're doing 2 of these. You're going to average them just like you're going to average those two pieces of dimensional lumber. One of those dimensional lumbers was really low at the beginning, and one was really high. So that's typically dimensional lumber. You get a lot of variation. We're going to find our engineered wood products like this high joist. They're going to be fairly consistent. Lock the clamp. We're going to add our deflection plate. High tech. A worn out screwdriver bit. Here. All right, we're going to reset that deflection. Check our camera to see if I bumped it. I did bump it a little bit. There we go, right like that. Okay. The deflection, we're not going to worry about that, minus 277. Again, we're going all the way up to 12,000, 13,000. That's not a very big percent error. We're going to ignore that under the circumstances. All right, we're going to go ahead and start. We should hear it start to load up. Move this out of the way since we're over 10,000. And we got our first break there. The camera shaking, but that is the vibration from that when it's breaking. Alright, we're going to stop it about there. We're going to turn it back to 0. And again, you can see that the top and bottom rails being out of those micro lambs, we got quite a bit of rebound on them, but we did get a lot of separation right here where there is a seam. Okay, actually had a seam right there. It's hard to show you that because of the way this is set up. All right, so we're going to go ahead and run this up, and we're going to do a micro lamp. All right, let me go actually get the peak for this one. Back over here to this machine, see what we got for a peak. All right, we got 11,929 for the peak. Again, that's probably about 279 kilos, because that's kind of our error for going out this, our particular load cell. First, run this out. Alright, so that's our second eye joist. Again, not quite as high, but pretty close. That 12, almost 12,000. The first one we got a little over 13. Those are pretty close to each other compared to the dimensional lumber. Again, it was just split right here. It kind of failed right there where those two pieces of OSB came together. Alright, now we're going to do a micro lamb. Again, you're not going to compare this to the other one as far as the question or the calculations. I'm going to kind of hold it up here. Hopefully that camera is giving you a good view. But this has little 1/8 inch laminations. Okay? The advantage of those laminations is any defect like that, a knot right there, is only one layer thick. Okay? The layer behind it doesn't have a defect in that exact same spot. Same with these knots up here. Again, they're only going to be one layer thick. So the defects are only going to affect one layer at a time. Okay? So go ahead and drop this in here. The other thing is this is a full 2 inches by 11 7/8. We'll go ahead and do the deflection. Main difference on this one is I'm going to set the scale. I'm going to put it on 100%. This one should go up around 25, 30,000, something like that. So we'll leave the deflection on there a little longer, but remember that we'll put a lot more load on this one than the other ones. That. Bring it down. Lock it in place. Again, depending on how much deflection we get on this, we may have to do it twice like we did that other one. All right, so let me just check everything. 0 or deflection. Looks like their view's not too bad. Might rock it up just a little bit. Over this slightly. Try to catch as much of it as we can. And I'm going to inside here, put it on 100% for the load. That load. Should get a start. Should hear it start to load up. Again, we do have that 278 error for not being zeroed. Again, we could add that to our final number. This is an MTS 810 material testing system from the late 70s. Pretty old technology. The display unit actually doesn't work. That's why we're using the display unit on our concrete tester. You can see we're already at 20,000. Again, only less than 100 thousandths deflection with 20,000 pound load. 25,000, 27 actually now. And I'm going to go ahead and move this out of the way here. Starting to get some initial crunching that you can kind of hear. And crack in there, so we dropped a little. It's still holding significant load, 28,000, 29,000 pounds. See, we're getting a little bit of failure and tension down there. Not quite as bad in compression, just because it is a little harder to let those laminates on an edge there. angle lets us drop to about half of its maximum. So that up around 33,000. And when it gets down to the 16,000 or so, we're going to release the load. Or until we run out of half of the stroke. Alright, so we're just going to release the load now and see what happens. Good. Did it rebound quite a bit? It did rebound, not quite as much as that one-eye joist, but it rebounded quite a bit. We can definitely see some parts peeling off here, failure, but again, it held on. Well, let's go check what the peak was. Over here, 34,453. We can really add that 270 to that. That would actually be our number. So it held quite a bit, okay, compared to our standard piece of dimensional lumber. Again, these are not used in the same place. Our dimensional lumber and our eye joisters are used interchangeably, but this micro-lam would be used as the beam that supports those. Okay? What we'd use for the beam to support those others. All right, that's it for this lab. Hopefully the calculations are pretty self-explanatory. I give you both the formulas for them, and I explain what all the letters mean for each formula as far as the numbers that go in there. Questions, I will set up a collaboration lab like I did for the others, and you can kind of collaborate on them, or if you have a question, I will email the class with the answer. All right, talk to you later. Bye.